Hello crafters, I'm Sarithray and I'm here to teach you some tips on how to finish your cross-stitch projects. Specifically, today we'll be talking about how to make your own switch dock covers. Now, I'm always looking for fun ways to make my cross-stitch projects into usable items, and I'm a huge gamer, so it's only natural for that to cross over into both my designs and my finishes. So today I wanted to talk about how I made these switch dock covers for myself and my partner. Now, I must warn you that I filmed the tutorial part of this footage about 2 years ago, and I didn't even review it to see if it was any good. And then I never had time to actually edit it, or take any additional footage. So I will leave some notes on screen if I have any additional insights since then. Sure, you're eager to actually learn how to do it, so let's get started. First up, let's talk about materials. 1 inch by 7 3/4 inch strip, a 4 1/4 inch by 7 3/4 inch strip. Alright, let me just take over here before past me scares everyone away from the video. All of these measurements are going to be listed down in the tutorial that I linked in the description, but basically you need a cross stitch or accent panel that is 3 1/2 inches by 7 3/4 inches. You need a 1/4 inch border on all sides that does not have any cross stitching on it, because you're probably going to sew it together and it's going to get covered up anyway, so you might as well. This could just be an extra accent fabric. It doesn't necessarily have to be a cross stitch though. You then need a fabric strip that is 1 inch by 7 3/4 inch, one that is 4 1/2 inch by 7 3/4 inch, and then you need inner lining fabric. That's going to be all on the inside, which is 7 inches by 7 3/4 inches. Alright, let's carry on. Alright, except that the rest of the video doesn't have any audio, so I guess VoiceOver me is just going to have to read the tutorial article to you. We're going to attach the small strip at the bottom of the design right sides together, and I'm using Wonder Clips to clip it in place. You can use pins, you can just hold it because it's not even that long of a piece of fabric and I'm taking entirely too long to clip these together. Now, I found it easier to sew in a straight line by stitching with the Aida side up, or linen, or whatever you're using, because then I could just follow the lines of the fabric, which I'm pointing at right now. And then once you have those two strips together, you want to iron it flat, which I'm about to show you here. Yeah, look how crisp that is. I'm then going to take the medium piece of fabric and put it right sides together on top of that cross stitch panel that we just did, and we're going to sew along the top edge there. Now remember, I'm doing 1/4 inch seams, so that's how much of a margin you should be doing there. And I'm just going to speed this up because past me took forever just to even clip things together. I also want to point out here that I was pretty much an absolute beginner when I did this. I had maybe 2 other small bag projects under my belt at that time, so this is why I'm taking forever. And it's further proof that even if you too are a beginner, you can do the thing. And you can make this, and it will turn out just fine. Once that was sewn on, I went ahead and ironed my seams again and attempted to show the camera and failed horribly at it. But basically you just want to flatten them down so that they're not catching on the thing. Because of those little flaps, I decided to line it, which is what that last piece of fabric is for. Now this time you want to put the wrong sides of the fabric together, as I just failed to do and then flipped over. You want to line it about the center. You'll see that the lining piece is actually a little bit smaller than the patchwork piece we just created. That's normal. You do not need to be quite as persnickety about centering it as past me was, but basically you want to fold over that extra fabric Once you've got it all pinned in place, we're going to sew it down, but this time with a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Basically, you want to get it about as close to the edge as you can comfortably. Now we are not stitching up the sides yet, so make sure you're just doing the top and bottom, like I did there, and then trim off all the random threads that you have. You should have one big pocket. The next thing that we're going to do is fold it over so that the cross stitch is on the inside, so right sides together. You should only be seeing lining fabric here. You're going to line it up so that it lines up with that fold that we made earlier, so you have that like 1/4 inch difference between the two. It's not quite in half. And then we're going to stitch it up the sides at a 1/4 inch seam. And try... Oh, it's stuck on the foot. Okay. 1/4 inch seams. Good job, past me. You got it. Alright, we're basically done here. We just need to turn this thing right side out. You will see me struggling a bit here, but it's pretty straightforward. Make sure you trim off all of your extra threads so that it's not catching on everything. Poke those corners out as well as you can. I used a nearby chopstick because we all keep chopsticks on our desk, right? It's not just me. After one last check for stray threads, I decided I needed to iron it, so I'm gonna be right back. And here it is. Flattened out, it looks a little bit better. You can see the inside is not perfect, but you will never see it while it's sitting on your dock, so it doesn't matter. Here it is after 2 years of living on my dock. It has gotten a little dusty waiting around for Tears of the Kingdom to come out, but overall it's pretty great. I love it. Well, as I mentioned earlier, that footage was filmed several years ago, but that's also the same time that I made the text-based tutorial that I will link down in the description below. That actually has step-by-step photos and proper breakdown of materials. So you can follow along with that while you try it yourself. Now, if you've learned something from this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more tutorials from me, check out my website instead. I haven't been posting very much on YouTube, but I have been posting on tutorials on my website every month. There are over 90 of them now. Articles get voted on by my patrons, so if you'd like to influence what we talk about next or get early access to the tutorials and videos, check it out. Plus, patrons get 2 cross-stitch patterns every month, such as these cross-stitch good luck charms that I released last week. So be sure to check it out or sign up for my newsletter if you would just like to be notified when they're up publicly and patterns are available for sale. Finally, don't forget to join us over on Discord if you'd like to have a fun place to chat with other stitchers, pick up tips and tricks, and join in community events like swaps. Whatever you decide to do next, keep creating. Today we'll be talking about how to make your own switch stitch. How to make your own switch stitch. Switch stitch. Why do I keep saying that? It's not a word.